Yeah, I'm starting the recording. And I will share the screen. Yeah, let me take the whiteboard of yours. Okay, so anyone who has done the Excel question? So if no one has done it, we can continue. Right. Okay, so Lalindi has done that. Let's go through. So this particular question giving you some details about the government school, private school, and the Pirivan school, as well as the government students and the government teachers. Right. So then, of course, they have the total value regarding the government, private, and Pirivans. So in the first part, it is asking what is a single spreadsheet function that can be used in cell B3 to display the total number of schools in 2008. So total number of schools. Total number of schools are indicated right over here. So it is given as the sum of these three cells. So since they are asking about a function, you have to say equal sum, then you have to say B4 colon B6. Or the other way around, equal sum B6 colon B4. And you can write it on this manner as well, sum B4 comma B5 comma B6. This is also correct. Right, so you can have 1 mark for that. Then the second part will be asking what will be the formula displayed in C3 if the formula in B3 copy to C3. So B3 copy into C3 means the formula is going to copy onto this particular cell. So we don't have any absolute values. Therefore, the answer can go like equal sum C4. Since it is copying along a row, number is not going to change, only the letter is going to change. So we can say C4 colon C6, right? Or we can say equal sum C4 comma C5 comma C6, right? Okay, in the third one, it says student/teacher ratio is calculated by dividing the number of students in government schools by the total number of teachers in government schools. What is the formula to be written in cell B14 to display the student-teacher ratio? So be careful, they are asking about the government schools and it is in 2008. So if I draw you the things, so since they are asking about the government school student and teachers, so these are the government school student details. This is the government school teacher details. So student teacher ratio can be given, they are in the B column. So the equation is going to be equal B12. That is the, hold on, it's a student teacher that they're asking here. So then it's B8 divided by B12, right? So this is the place that you are going to write the formula. So this is going to be equals B8 divided by B12. Let me take the marking scheme as well. Yeah, so it is equal B8 divided by B12. Okay. So the part D suggests the most suitable graph type to show the comparison between the number of government school, private school, and between school. Yes. So this you can use, since they are asking for a comparison, you can go for bar chart or column chart. Right, one of those. So you can have 1 mark for each part. All right, moving forward, then after they're asking about the true and false statements. So the autofill facility can be used to copy a formula to a range of adjacent cell. Yeah, that is true. Text entries in cell get right aligned automatically by default. No, it's not going to be right aligned, it's going to be left aligned. Right? If you got a cell like this, if you put a text, it's going to be like this. If you put a value, it's going to be right aligned. Right? So this is false. And then it says it is possible to get cell borders to appear on a spreadsheet printout. Yes, if you need to see the cell borders, you have to apply the borders and activate the borders. So that is true. It is possible to hide rows and columns in a spreadsheet. Yes, you can hide the rows and columns as well as unhide them. By pressing Ctrl plus Home keys, the cursor is moved to cell A1. Yeah, it is. So pressing Ctrl plus Home key will move the cell to the A1. Now this is a little bit out of syllabus, the F part. When Ctrl plus page up keys are pressed, the active cell jumps to the next worksheet. Yeah, now page up and page down alone can be used to move inside a particular sheet. But when you press Control, it is to, if you have like more than one sheet in your workbook, so when you press Control up, it will jump into the next sheets. right, which is into your right. And if you press control page down, it will jump to the previous sheets, which is to your left side, right? So if I illustrate it to you, yeah, if you're having different kinds of sheets like this, sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. If you're in sheet 1, if you press control page up, it will move to the next sheet. If you press control page up again, it will move to the next sheet. And if you page control page up in here, nothing will happen. But when you click control page down, it will come sheet by sheets to the very first sheet or the leftmost sheet, right? So that is a little bit out of syllabus, but what he is telling here is incorrect. It is not jump into the next sheet, it's jump into the previous sheet if you press control page up. So this can be taken as false. Right, so we move to the marking scheme. Yeah, it's true, false, true, 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 false. So 1 mark for each and every identification. So it gets 6 marks. The previous parts get 4 marks. So 6 plus 4 is 10. Right, people, is it clear so far? Just confirm me. Right, great. Okay, so anyone who have done the third question? Right, there are people. So here we go to do the third question. Right. So it is talking about a database which is maintained in a sports shop, right? So it has item table to have an idea about their stock. So they maintain their stock inside the item table. So the supply table is there to recognize or to have details about the suppliers who are supplying the sports items, right? And the purchase table is indicates how the shop is purchased things from the suppliers, right? So in which date and in which quantity, right? Okay, so the first question is asking is list 2 primary key fields and their table names in the above database system. So the easiest way to do that is using the item and the supplier table. So if you think about the item table, you got name ID, which has unique values. You got INAME, again it has unique values. You got stock, it has unique values like as we see here. But we know stocks can be repeated, right? Because same amount of numbers can become as a stock value. And again, we are not going to consider the the item name, the INAME column, because name is not very much used to indicate or like recognize as a primary key. But in this case, only with this data, of course, the name can be taken because it is unique. The most suitable one will be the item, will be the item ID, right? So it is unique, and item, if you take something like item ID, it is there for not to get repeat. So regarding the supplier table, if you think about the very same manner, the most suitable field will be the supplier ID or the sub ID. If you think about the purchase table, like there are supplier ID and item ID, two primary keys, which is in the customer table, which is in the stock table and the purchase table. But in here, if you consider the third row, or the third table, supply ID is not been, supply ID is repeated in these two places. Item ID is repeated in these two places. So supply ID alone, customer stock item ID alone won't be able to recognize or won't be able to form a primary key to this particular table. But if you think that these two together can supply a composite primary key, still you can lead into a problem in the case like this. Like in 12th of 11th month, S01 supplier will supply the P03 item as 10 with quantity of the count. So that will make this record repeated, right? So for that reason, the most suitable primary key will be date, supply ID, and item ID, because no like practically when supplier supplied goods to a shop, he or she is not going to supply it on the same day. Still, it is like an assumption, but it's a good way to find the primary key of the third table, right? Or either you can take it as all four fields, that doesn't matter. Right, in marking scheme, they were just talk about two things, like item table for item ID in item table, supply ID in supply table. So the second part is talking about the shop decide to add new item, tennis balls, purchase 30 of them from the supplier Rita. So a new purchase, that means the purchase table should be updated. And how it's going to update? This is in 22nd of 9. So 22nd of 9 is going to be the date. And they say, yeah, they have brought 30 tennis balls, so the count is 30. From Rita, so Rita is there. Her supplied is S02. So the tennis ball. So if you search the item table, there is nothing called tennis ball. So you have to add the tennis ball and make the quantity as 30, and then we can find P05 right over here. So the tables are going to be item and purchase, and the records are going to be like this, right? if you look at the marking scheme, they are also telling you the same story. So let's have marks like this. One for this, I will mark it on the paper. Right. So I'll give 2 marks for this, and 1 mark for this, and 2 marks for this. Yeah, we'll see. So the last part is saying a customer buys 1 volleyball and 1 bat. What tables or table needs to be updated for this event? So a customer has purchased 1 bat and 1 volleyball. So it will directly affect on the items table because the stock is going to change. So it's the item table that's get affected. So the supplier is already there, the Rita, so you don't need to update or do anything regarding that, right? So as well as the purchase table, because the purchasers are indicating the company purchasing from a supplier. Now here they are talking about a customer. Just a second, people. Right. So therefore, it's only one table, which is the item table that's going to be an updation should happen like bet should be reduced by 1, which is 24, and volleyball should be reduced by 1, which is 9. So those should be there. So as it says, the item table for the part A and these 2 records, which are being modified recently. So you don't need to have it in an order, but you should have the proper answer for like proper record which has been updated, right? So the marks, first part 2 marks, second part A 2 marks, second part B I'll give you 3 marks, right? The 3 marks is yeah, let me write it over there, otherwise it goes. Yeah, I'll give you 4 marks over here, right? And 1 over here and 2 over here. Yeah, goes like that. Okay, people, is it clear? Right, great. Who has done the third? Not the third, fourth. Okay, how about others? Does anyone did the fourth one, which has some explanations? Right, seems no one has done the fourth question, so let's skip it and go for the fifth. How about the fifth? Who has done the fifth? Anyone? Okay, Binu has done the fourth one. Let's see what the fourth one is. Not the fourth, the fifth. Binu. Yeah, the fifth one. Okay, the fifth one, it says, assume that the monthly payment for T plug-in employees in a T state are calculated based on the weight of the T leaves that they plug daily. The payment process is performed manually at present, and it is proposed to automate the process. Yeah, so what they are trying to do is they are trying to automate the process of monthly payment or the paying process, right? So state 2, methods that can be used to understand the requirement of the proposed system if the above process is to be automated. So let's go with the marking scheme. You can say interviews, discussions, questionnaires, observations. So there are many. Any two of these things will give you 2 marks. Yeah. Then it is asking about the input and the output for the proposed system. So inputs will be, yes, weight of leaves per each day, and this employee ID name, that's highly predictable. Like if you have the weight of leaves per each day per person, that will be a better answer, right? The ID and the name, those can be like taken, but weight of leaves per each day must be there. Okay, you found a flower, right? Right. So the output is going to be the monthly payment or the salary, right? Careful, huh? Suhar, what are you doing? Right. So if you got those two things, see, Ami is calling for you. Right. If you got those two things, so 2 marks will be given. Right. So weight of leaves per each day or weight of leaves plucked by each person per day should be there. That's going to be input data and output is going to be the monthly payment. So 2 marks. And in C, yeah, what they are asking is, yeah, Nilanga, it's okay to, we were discussing the 2015 paper. So we are in the 5th question now. Just carry on, then you can refer the video, right? Right. So they're asking unit testing is one testing method that can be used to test the above system. Right, one other testing methods. So when it comes to the testing, other than the unit testing, there can be 3 more tests that we have learned. So it can be a unit test is the test that is done by the programmers individually. The smallest components will be tested. Like basically those components are made by those programmers. So what they have, they are told to check what they have created. Then these units will be connect together some of the units, which we call a module. So the integration test will be done for that module. So they will check whether that particular module or that particular integration works properly. So that is what you call integration test. And thereafter, all the units will be taken to a one particular place or set up to have the full system, and then checks the system works for the correct inputs. So that is what you call system testing. And later, the project team will invite the client and show him the solution and ask him to test whether there is what he or she has expected. So that is what we call acceptance test. So you can write any one of these things. Unit, not the unit is already given, the integration, system, and the acceptance. Write any one of that. So you can take 1 mark for that. So how the marks were given, here you have 2 marks, here you have 2 marks, here you have 1 mark. The next one says the newly developed software can be deployed using either parallel implementation or direct implementation. Which method would you see? State one reason for your recommendation. Yeah, most appropriate one is the parallel implementation, because in parallel implementation, the old system and the new system is carried out for certain amount of period. Then once the new system is confident with the organization, they'll get rid of the old system. So there is a huge advantage. If the new system fails, there will be always an alternative, right? So alternative means the previous one, the backup, the manual system. Direct implementation, the problem is you are installing the system directly into the organization by taking out the old system. So if anything goes wrong with the new system, you don't have anything for backup, right? So for that, I'm giving you 2 marks. And finally, let's say this get 3 marks. So in the second part, they are just asking you to arrange the way of having the internet to do some searching about the environment conservation, right? So the first thing you should do is, log into the computer. So C comes first. Then you should do the A, connect to the internet using the relevant software. Then you should do D, take in a search engine. Then you are going to do B. Right, so it's CADB. If you got everything correct, you are going to have 2 marks. So 0.5 for each part. Okay. Everyone got that? Just confirm. Right, great. How about others? Others, haven't you concentrate on the question? You haven't done? Okay. Right, so moving forward, the 6th question. So the 6th question is about HTML, something very easy. So you have to fill out the things. So the first one is going to be head, because inside the head section we can find the titles, like title tags. So the second one and third one is surrounded the lifestyle based ways to improve your memory. Yeah, and it's kind of in big letters, so definitely 3 is going to be H tag, H1 or H2. So 4, of course, we can say it is the IMG tag, because only with the IMG we can use these SRCs and or ALT and all these things. And second one, we can assume that this picture is being center aligned as well as the heading. So second one can be taken as a center. Right, so after the particular picture, we have a horizontal line which indicates by fifth as HR. So the sixth is going to be a paragraph, right? So it's easy. So this is going to be P. And seventh, of course, it's going to be something little than the heading that you are using at the top. So you can go with the lower size heading like H2 or H3 to indicate 5 simple ways. So this is H2 or H3. And as you can see, it's an unordered list we have there. So 8 is going to be UL. And of course, 9 is going to be LI, which is a couple tag. So make it be like, we don't need to show the slash and everything. We just got the message. So these 9s are called the LIs. So the 10, of course, it's regarding the anchor tag. So 10 means the href. Right, so likewise, you can choose. So let me see the marking scheme as well. So 1 will be head, 2 will be center, 3 will be H1, or H2 still you can go. 4 is IMG, 6 is HR, 5 is HR, 6 is paragraph P, 7 can be another header tag, which should be lower than the previously used one. Then 8 will be UL, 9 will be LI, and 10 will be href. Right. So then it is asking, select from the list given below and write down. Yeah, where's the list? It's here. The most appropriate term phrase for each of the blanks labels, 1 to 5 in the following sentence. Yeah. So it says can be used to properly view an HTML file. Yeah, what we can say is it is about viewing the HTML file. So it should be a web browser. So web browser is going to be 1. Then a file on the web is uniquely identified by a file on the web is uniquely identified by a URL. Right, so the URL is going to be the second. Uniform resource locator. An HTML file can be created by using Yeah, web authoring tool or the web authoring software. This is going to be 3. The fourth one, a blank may contain all the hypermedia documents related to the particular organization. Yeah, may contain all the hypermedia documents. Yeah, so it's going to be web server. It is the place where it stores the hypertext markup language, a hypermedia, the audios, videos, and all these things. So they will get stored in here. So web server is the 4th. And as the 5th, can be used to convert analog signal to digital. So it is going to be the modem. Modem is the one who's having the ability to convert physical into digital into physical. Right? It can do the other way around as well. So this is going to be modem. Right. So for that, there are 5 things. Yeah. Let's have 0.5 for each HTML tag you got correctly, and 1 mark for the fill in blank thing. Right. So yeah, 0.5 for each tag that we are choosing. So 5 marks will be there, and 5 marks for the second part. Okay, people, is it clear? Right, great. So let's move to the next question. Who has done the 7th? Not the 7th, 6th. Ah, no, it's the last one. Yeah, the 7th. Yeah, no one? Oh, there is one. Randy has done, yes. Okay, so in the 7th one, it says a school has 1,000 students. The following pseudocode segment prints the admission number of students who attend the school every day. Right, draw a flowchart to represent the above pseudocode. Use the same variable names as given in the pseudocode in your flowchart. So which is a easy one, right? So we start. There should be start symbol and the initialization. Right, then hold on. Then the while loop starts. So that means you can have the condition, and remember to put the very same condition. Otherwise, your flow chart will jeopardize, right? So the question is n less than 1,000. So then it says get administration number. So on the years part, you can have those 2 lines in a one single input box. So here, get admission number. Get number of days. And then they are having a if condition. If number of days equal to 210, then print admission number. So then that means another condition. So it should ask the question is, I'm writing NOS, number of days, NOD. This says equals 2010. So 210. So it is equals. Let me draw it clearly. Yeah. Then this has a yes path. This has a no path. Right. And if it is true, it is asking you to print the admission number. So you have to have the output on the years path. So you can say display or you can say print. Right. Admission number will get print. In the else part or in the no part, you don't have anything. So we can connect those two together. Right. Then after n equals n plus 1. Right, then it is going to be n while. That means you are going to connect to the place again where you have asked the admission number. So this particular one will be connected to this particular line. Okay, got that? Just check whether you have got it correctly, and I'm putting the marking scheme as well. Yes. Yes, so it is correct. Okay, in the last part of the last question is asking teacher of class of 35 students obtain the student preference to travel either by train or bus on their annual trip. The following flow chart. දුරපුතාලා මට internet connection එක stable නෑ කියලා messages එනවා සමහර වෙලාවට. Just let me know if it is not clear at your side, right? So the following flow chart with missing terms labeled A to E represent these scenarios. Yes. So they are trying to decide whether they are going to go by train or by bus to the trip, right? So total students are 35, student count is 0, train count is 0, and bus count should also be 0 because you haven't count anything right over there. Then it says get student preference. So it will say it is bus or train, let's assume. And student preference equals bus. It is the next condition. So if it is yes, it's going to be the student who have choose a bus. Then after the years, it says bus count equal bus count plus 1. So they are increasing the bus count variables value. ඇයි කවුරු හරි ළමෙක් බස් වලට කැමති කියලා කිව්වොත් ඒක එකකින් වැඩි වෙන්න ඕන. Right? So that's why it is being considered. And in the very same way, train count is equals to the train underscore count plus 1. It should be like this. So the C part is going to be train underscore count then it is going to be plus with 1. So I have omit means like we didn't talk about this, and it's no path. It's no path. So now when it is in the years path regarding this condition says student count less than B. So student count. So how many students that we are going to check? It's regarding 35 students. So student count less than 35. If it says less than 35, we have to hand trace and see whether it is going to be a problem, right? So we'll see, we'll check on that. And in this particular line, it comes because of this iteration is not success, right? So when it comes on the I'm sorry, when it comes on the no path, they are comparing the bus count, and the other component should be the train count. So D is going to be train count. Right. So that's going to be the D, and in years path output tour by train, and with E indicates tour by bus. Right. So we have to see the pattern to figure out whether the B in this particular condition is 35 or 36. Right. So we'll see what's going to happen. So the student count, when the details are being collected by a student, so the student count will be increased. So when the first student gives his details, it's increment to 1. So when the second student gives his details, it increments to 2. When the third student gives its details, increment to 3. So likewise, when 35th one is given the details, then it is going to increment to 35th. Once it is incremented to 35th, that means you are right over here. So now it is being increased into 35th value, and the count, the requirement of hours is fulfilled. 35 වෙනි details ටික දීලා තමයි 35ට වැඩි කරන්නේ. So now it is 35. When it is going up, the condition should be false, right? නැත්තම් තව ගැටලුවක් වෙනවා. So then it is talking about the student count. එතකොට මෙතන false වෙන්න නම් if this need to produce your false value, it should be student count less than 35. මොකද මෙතන 35 වුණාම ගිහිලා less than or equal එකක් නැහැ. 36 දැම්මොත්, so 35 is going up and student count is still less, so you are going to do the things. So it is going to be 36 students average, right? So it's going to be B should be 35. Right, let's check the answers. Yeah. So A is 0, B is 35, or total students you can take, and C is train count, D is train count. Now that's going to be a problem. C is train count, D is train count. Yeah, both are train count. Yes. Both are train count, and E is going to be by bus. So you can have 5 marks for the second part and 5 marks for your flow chart. So that's how the 10 marks are being populated. All right, people. So that sum up the 2015 paper. So have you done the 2014, everyone? And if you got any more questions, just let me know. Meanwhile, Right. Oh, I got a question. Yes, Geetaka, hold on. I'm reading yours. Okay, Geetaka. Okay, Geetaka, I'll go through this. I'll go through this. Yes, so two of you have confirmed that you have done the paper. How about others? There are 6 in the room. Okay, Geetaka has done that. And how about the others? Amma and Duneli? Binu, not yet, right? Okay, not even the MCQ though. Amma has done it. All right. Okay, so I think we have some of the theory parts left. So let's go through that, right? Then definitely by next week, we are going to do the 2014 and people be prepared. First week of the February, that means 31st is a Sunday and yeah, first week will be what? Yeah, on the 7th. We are going to discuss the 2019 paper, right? So be prepared. It's better if you can try the 2019 paper with me in the class, right? Copy time kala පටන් අරගෙන පළවෙනි දවසේ MCQ එක කරනවා within the given time, right? ඊට කලින් බලන්න යන්න එපා ඒක ගැන. If you have done the 2019 paper already in the school or somewhere, so just don't go to look into that, right? Let's try to do it as an actual paper, right? So within the given time, we'll try our best to answer that, right? Okay. Right. So let me take your textbook. Right. Yeah, where did we start? The matter class like we did discuss about this. We were finished with the HTML parts, neither. I think and didn't we discuss this as well? Yeah, people, can you confirm me? Where were we? Like, did we talk about this? Sorry, I have taken the similar one. Oh, wait, I can refer it from the video as well. Yes, okay. Thank you, Ranidi. So we discuss until the antivirus part. Right. So yes, taking the backups and all these things. Okay. So we went through the malicious software once when we are doing the papers. So I'll walk through it again quickly, right? So malicious software means the unwanted, or like the softwares that are being created to harm the computer, right, or the computer system. So it will harm in many different ways, right? So like it can decrease your efficiency. It can be working as a destruction or malfunction software, right? So it will block installing other softwares, right? Weak your hardware system, right? When it comes to a network, the network can be sabotaged, and data theft and destruction can be there. So likewise, there can be many different harmful things can be done with the by a malware, right? So these are the harmful softwares that we are going to learn through this syllabus. So the first one is the computer virus. As I told you, computer virus can be spread through the storage devices, the external storage devices like USBs and flash drives and external hard disk, CDs and DVDs, right? So they can stay there, or even it can spread through the emails as well. But the only good thing about the virus is it won't affect your computer if it not get executed, right? So when we execute it once, it will do it things, right? Execute කරේ නැති වුණොත්, يعني මොකක් හෝ විදියකින් එයාව open කරේ නැති වුණොත් හරි, එහෙමත් නැත්නම් එයාව double click කරලා run කරේ නැති වුණොත් හරි, it won't effect on your computer, right? And computer worms are not like that. It's act very similar to the computer viruses, but it has the capability of self-replicating, right? And if you open a gate for a worm, they will just spread. They can email එක attach කරලා આવොත් ඒ email එක open කරාට spread වෙනවා, right? Virus එක එහෙම නෙවෙයි, open කරාට spread වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Open, and we have to execute that particular virus like by mistake, or like අපි එච්චර හිතන්නේ නැතුව මොකද්ද මේ කියලා හොයලා බලන්න double click කරලා open කරනවා. So then it will get executed. Worms are not like that. Worms just spread through, right? And spyware, the Trojan horse, I have told you the story. It was the term Trojan horse is originated from the Troy War, which was talking about this big wooden horse, which is made by the Roman army as a gift to the Troy city, where there was a norm that the Troy city cannot be defeated by any army, right? සූර පප්පගේ ගෝල් දේශය වගේ තමයි, right? පප්පගම වගේ තමයි Troyla defeat කරන්න පුළුවන් කමක් තිබුණේ නැහැ. So what Roman army did was, as a gift, they made a very big wooden horse and gifted it to the Troy people as a symbol of peace. So Troy people were very peaceful, and they were very genuine, and they thought, okay, Roman army don't want to fight with us anymore, so they are at peace. So they just took it into their city, and at the night, the Roman army, hidden inside that wooden horse, attacked to the Troy city, and they invade the Troy city by that particular technique. So why this spyware is called the Trojan horse? It acts as the same way, like it is given for us like a gift or something genuine, but inside it there can be a malware, right? So like specifically when it comes to these spywares, it makes the user uncomfortable by unnecessary opening up windows, producing different desktops, right? Likewise, sometimes it's going to like allow these viruses and worms to be spread through the spywares, right? So when it comes to the adware is like displaying unnecessary notice on your computer screen. Oh, අපිට ගොඩක් වෙලාවට වෙනවා when we are surfing. අපි නැත්නම් සමහර දේවල් අපි සමහර softwares install කරගන්නකොට they just like unreportedly get installed, right? සමහර වෙලාවට අපිට තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ අපි original software එක install කරනකොට ඒගොල්ලෝ terms and conditions ඇතුළේම දාලා අපෙන් අහනවා right මෙයාවත් මේ adware එකත් install කරන්නද කියලා. So we give okay for that. So the adware is get installed. So it is bothering us, like popping up a lot of advertisement and all these things, right? So it's not very much harmful, but it is like it will be a hassle for the user. So bots, it's derived word from robots. So it's an harmful software that function on its own communication with other networks, right? So they collect the personal information through the like these internet messages, like instance messages and conversations. And if you are communicating any sensitive data, that's going to be a problem. And browser hijacker, what they are doing is misdirecting the user into the different websites, right? Then ඔක ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ඔයගලට experience කරන්න පුළුවන් when you are downloading these audios and videos, right? So when you search on the search engine and then click on a specific link, it won't open the website that you are intended to open, or like that you are expecting to open. It's open as some another thing, right? සමහර ලාට අර link එක ආයෙ click කරන්න වෙනවා අපිට අදාළ software එක අදාළ web page එක හරියට open කරගන්න, right? Same happens with the downloaded links, right? Then ඔබ softwares download කරන්න ගියාම ඔබ ගොඩාක් experience කරන්න පුළුවන් දැන්. When we click on the download link, it will open another browser and show you something else, like a lottery or something, right? So it is what we call the hijacker or the browser hijacker. Phishing, we talk about it. It is about like presenting or like acting as a genuine website and collecting your sensitive data and use by the phisher in some other time, right? This is happening most of the places where you use your sensitive data, like password, like credit card numbers, right? Those kind of things. How they are going to do this is this phisher who is doing the phishing attack will send you a message through the instant messages or the email or through an SMS as well. They send a link, just click this particular link and connect with your usual like e-banking systems and all these places where you give sensitive data. So if you click on that, you will be presented a very genuine interface that you are used to log with, and you won't feel okay that you are in the particular website that you are used to do your transactions. So then you give your username and the password. Once you've given it, phisher can collect those things because it was the phisher's website or the phisher's web page where you are entering the data. Then it will do some gimmicks, like saying the server is down or the internet connection has a problem, or like redirecting it to the genuine website and say please enter it again or something. So then, but by that time, the phisher has collected your username and the password, right? And spam mails, yes, those are the emails which are in a very big capacity. So there can be materials like high resolution images, kind of things which are not harming the computer, but as well as there can be executable files like viruses. So that's why the email accounts are having a spam folder. When the email account has its when the email account is suspecting some email, it is just directly sent to the spam mail and give us a warning, or like moving the email to the spam will indicate us, please do not open this email if you don't know who the sender is, right? So spams are working on that manner. So it's better you not to open spam emails if you don't know who the sender is. Just delete it, right? So to safeguard these things, we can use a virus guard, right? And having a virus guard is not sufficient. You should update it regularly and keep it up to date. And when you are using the USB memories, you have to be very careful, right? Always it's better you connect and scan it with the antivirus software, then open up the external devices, right? And always try to install the authorized software in Sri Lanka. Like many other Asian countries, we are not very much into the original softwares because they cost us, right? Even in myself, මමත් දාගෙන තියෙනවා සමහර crack versions වගේ, right? So it is because we can't pay and take, right? But the much better advice is always try to go for the licensed softwares, or else just go for the free and open source softwares, right? So hackers will not do anything through the free and open source things because it is free and open source always, right? And the last one is a very good advice. Like instead of an administrator account, maintain a user account, right? So like user account has less authorities or like the privileges comparing to the administrator. Yes, baby. What do you want? This one? It doesn't have any biscuits, right? Okay, so and if the computer is connected to the internet and yeah, many things. Go with Tommy, she will scratch. It's itchy. I want to change your dress. Right, so when you are using the internet, it's better you use secure websites always, right? And the UR verification as well, right? The secure websites will indicate the HTTPS. Now, if you consider my website, sometimes like if you visit to the StarLabs, it will tell you it is not secure, but I guarantee it is secure because it is not secure because I haven't purchased the HTTPS, right? Which cost me again, right? And if you really don't know about this kind about the security, please don't visit that. But I guarantee this particular website is secured. And again, it's going to give me a disadvantage because the people who are just visiting the website, will want, right? Because it is saying it is not secured, but it is because of the protocol breaches, right? But there can be websites which are really harmful, right? And the select secure websites for the download or softwares or the materials, right? So before you download, you can check that download with a virus guard. If you are having the internet security enabled in there in the antivirus software, right? Do not open up the spam emails and avoid suspicious advertisements or messages, right? Will allow the adwares to come in. And again, do not enter personal information without checking on security. දැන් ඔය insecure කියන websites වල තියෙන insecurity එක ඒක ගොඩක් වෙලාවට like insecure කියලා indicate කරන්නේ it is warning us, do not give any sensitive data to this particular website, right? And use of firewalls, virus guard, and email filters to avoid the risks. And at the bottom, they just list some of the well-known antivirus softwares. Yeah, people, so when you are writing down the things, it's better you have this, please mark these things. It's better you have this malicious software heading, and please copy this entire thing. Entire thing means the paragraph, right? Up to this point. Just mark those things, or you can highlight if you're not returning the book, right? And regarding the harmful softwares, I don't want you to write the this particular description. Just list down the names, right? Viruses, worms, spywares, bots, adwares, hijackers, phishing, and spam, right? And then when you are writing it, make sure you have the idea by reading the description, right? But when you are copying it to the book, just copy the names, right? And regarding the safeguarding, it's better you go through the entire thing. Right? They are not really asking about the names of the antivirus software. So just writing to this particular point is enough, and just read these through, right? There are very well-known antivirus softwares like Avasta, Kaspersky, right? Norton, McAfee, and even with the Windows itself has a antivirus software called Windows Defender, right? Which is a very sufficient one to deal with. Right. So next is about the agencies in Sri Lanka responsible for the security information exchange. Yeah, so the ICTA is the one who is taking care of the internet related things in the Sri Lanka, and they are also responsible to give the cyber security, so like the security to provide security when we are surfing on the internet. So ICTA stands for Information and Communication Technology Agency, right? So they cater their service to citizens, to the business establishments, and state institutes as well, right? And this, as the last point says, ICTA, Sri Lanka Standard Bureau, and the Sri Lanka Emergency Computer Service have together organized to certify the Information Security Management System. So the Information Security Management System is the one that they are maintaining these details and the security about the people who are in Sri Lanka. And we can register on that particular website and be a part of it. So we will be taken care of in a very manageable way by the ICTA, right? So regarding the ICTA, yeah. Yeah, it's better you copy the second paragraph. The first paragraph is just saying about it. And starting from the OS, it's better you continue up to this point. Right, as well as this. Because it says what are the things. Like up to this point is enough. Oh, sorry. So starting from this point, goes until here. Right, people. So did you got that so far? Just confirm me. Right. So next is about the problems, the health issues, which we discuss again when we are going through the past papers. So I'll run through it quickly. And so like this economics, it's better you know about what it is. So as it says, economics is a word made with use of two words in Greek language. According to the Greek language, egon is job or action, nomos is law, right? So the simple meaning to be collected from this word, a job must be a job must be created to comfort the worker, and the worker must not be forced to adjust himself or herself to work. If not, the worker will subject him or herself to various tensions and illness, right? So that is what we call the economics, right? And where like a lot of institutions are not really taken care of, right? So because of that, we have these numerous health issues, right? So the first one is the musculoskeletal problems, right? So these it is specifically talking about the non-stop computer non-stop use of computer, right? Which is causing the muscle strains and the effect on the bones and all these things, specifically the backbone, right? දිගටම ඉඳගෙන ඉන්න නිසා, right? අපි හරියට exercise එකක්වත් හරියට කෙරෙන්නේ නැති නිසා, right? And again, due to the incorrect postures, right? So these things can be happen. And RSI, repetitive stress injury, this is regarding the pain which started from the shoulder and extending it on your arm. So it can have the swellings or some hardness, right? And brings the pain for us, right? And again, this is regarding the incorrect posture. Now you will see lots of health issues are there due to the incorrect posture, right? So it's better you learn what is the correct posture as well, right? So CTS, carpal tunnel syndrome, it is again regarding the incorrect posture. This time it is about like handling the mouse and the keyboard, right? ගොඩක් අය පුරුදු වෙලා තියෙන්නේ wrist එකට pressure එක එන විදිහට mouse එක keyboard එක manage කරන්න. You should rest your arm on an armrest of a chair or on the table. Then you will move the mouse while your arm is being rest, right? elbow එකෙන් ඉස්සරහට තියෙන අත පැත්තට තියෙන කොටස එක්ක මේසෙ උඩ තියෙන්න ඕන. නැත්තම් ඔයාගේ natural position එකේ. ඔයාගේ laps දෙකට okay වෙන විදිහට තියෙන්න ඕන. right? ඒකයි computer tables වල මොනවාද? tray එක keyboard තියෙන tray එක ගොඩාක් පහළ තියෙන්නේ. අපේ කකුලේ වැදෙන ගන්නටම වගේ තියෙන එක. right? And CVS, computer vision syndrome, this is because of you are looking into the screens for a longer time. So to avoid from this, it's better you look some objects which are very far away from you, and you can have breaks, right, to avoid these kind of things, or you can have some special spectacles when you are using the computer. Those kind of things can be taken. And headaches, yeah, it is because of the pressures on the muscle and the neck, and tiredness around the eyes will cause you the headaches. Those are actually some side effects of the previous issues. And as well as the stress will make you ill with no reason, for no reason, right? So it's better you have a very it's better you have peace in your mind when you are working with anything, right? Otherwise it will cause you many different issues like sleeplessness, the tiredness, lack of appetite, right? So it is a good thing that we find a job or occupation which we can do without a big stress. අපිට සාමාන්‍ය වැඩක් කරනකොට කොහොමත් පොඩි stress එකක් කියන එක එනවා, so that can be managed, but with a numerous stress it's going to be a problem, right? Okay, right, since it is 8:33, I'm going to stop the session from this point. So next week I'm going to finish up the things. So I'm going to finish it up first. Then I'm going to move into the 2014 paper, right? So people, it's better you prepare, do the MCQs and all these things, right? So then I'll walk through the things that we have done in the 2014, right? Okay, people. So thank you very much. I'll end the session from this point. Have a very nice weekend. We'll meet on the next Sunday for the same time. Yeah, and Geetaka, ඔයාගේ question එක පුතේ ඒක මේ update එක ගිහිල්ලා reverse කරාට ගොඩාක් වෙලාවට මේ update එක reverse වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඔයා දෙතුන් වතාවක් uninstall කරලා මේ දෙතුන් වතාවක් restart කරලා බලුවද? Did you check with the restart?